Good morning. I don't have a real good idea about what's going on with these videos, except that my payment method is expiring, and they won't accept the card renewal because there's no security code on it. Uh, Amazon's taking a card, but they're not taking it, so I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea if I'm going to be here in later tomorrow or not, or later in the week. I'm gonna check into TikTok and a few other places that I can post videos to, because I'm just tired of dealing with the stupidity that I'm dealing with right now. So it's not my fault. It's the credit card company's fault. They don't issue security codes anymore, apparently, down here. I have to use credit cards from down here to pay for it because that's what they want. Amazon takes the card, YouTube doesn't take the card. I have no idea what's going to happen next, all right? So stay tuned. If you have a problem and you want to you want to see what's going on, go to Facebook and look up Jeffrey Bruff, okay? And I will, you post something to any of my posts up there, and I will find it, and then I will get back to you as best I can with information, or I'll post the information when I have it there, and you can go from there, all right? Otherwise, I'm sorry, unless I'm waiting for YouTube to respond to me, and they're not responding, so I don't know what's going on, all right? In the meantime, folks, let's get going with today. The biggest story, it seems to be the lack of all the victories that Trump has had in the primaries over people that Republicans that he didn't like. Now, the problem with that is that the Republican Party has no agenda, no legislative agenda, no plan, no nothing, because Trump doesn't have one. He put off the invasion of he put off the invasion of Iran, and the reason for that was that the other countries, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and a couple other companies, got a little pissed off and told him he shouldn't do that. Now, he's a I don't know how you say that. Don't know what I really don't know what to say to that. I mean, it's his party, and he doesn't have a plan. And everybody has said this, and I've said it for a while, and other people have said it. People you would respect in the news field and whatnot. Trump doesn't have a fucking clue what he's doing. He wakes up in the morning or in the middle of the night with an idea in his head, and he says, "Let's go do that." No plan on how to do it. No concern for repercussions or anything else, or human life or anything, you know. And they're saying this, that he has said in the past he doesn't care about the midterms, and people are beginning to say he's telling the truth. He doesn't care. And people are saying he doesn't care about Americans' financial situations. That's the truth. And his people in his party and other parties and the other people out there are beginning to realize this. He doesn't give a goddamn pot poo-poo about anything other than himself and what he wants. Look at what he's doing to Washington, D.C. No president in the history of the United States has ever gone around, plastered his face up all over the place, and wanted memorials to him. All I got to say is I want dibs on the concrete when they start tearing that shit down, you know? I can carve it into some really nice stuff. I'm telling you, democracy is done. Pretty well cooked, I think. We'll have to wait and see what comes next. You know, I mean, he doesn't want a English style democracy where there's a king and then there's the parliament. He wants Russian style and Korean style order to things. Only instead of calling them premiers, he wants to be called, or leaders, he wants to be called king. You know, I think we should start building a guillotine just in case he really fucks up really bad, because I think that's what's going to happen. I think we're headed for that sort of kind of situation there, where there's a revolution and it's not going to go well for the Republican Party and a lot of Democrats too, who sat around and did nothing. And the sat around and did nothing is Kamala Harris, and she's going to get to run again, and she's not going to be a good president. She's not the person you want as president. I don't know if there's a guy out there I would vote for president right now if it came down there that I could say I'd vote for. Oh, AOC is one, but I'm not sure she has the international experience to take on this problem that we're discussing, you know, which is the how you're going to deal with Donald Trump. I'm just not sure. I know how I would deal with him, but I don't think that's a good idea for any country to aspire to. You know, I still want to see him dragged out of the White House in chains in his underwear. You know, or a red jumpsuit if you have to, because underwear would probably be all shit stained and everything. You know. It would be a Depends. It wouldn't be regular underwear with poop dripping down his legs. I don't understand him, you know. He's gotten very, very rich as president. He has a tremendous amount of questionable stock trades going on because and I don't think he's smart enough to do that right now. I think he's taxed his brain to the maximum now, and I think he's having problems functioning rationally. So I don't see him making stock trades, but I see somebody in his family or somebody close to him doing it for him. Maybe his idea, because he'll sit there and tell you that this is what we're going to say. Look, this is what I'm going to do. Buy this stock, sell that stock. You know, that's what he's doing. He's operating on inside trader, and nobody gives a shit because he's giving that information to the people that count. Okay? The other rich people in the world. You and I don't count. All right? I used to say that, you know, we could make a difference, especially on a local level, because one vote there does count. I'm not sure that's true anymore either. Because when you start fixing national elections and controlling how people vote in a national election, it sort of, all that stuff trickles down, you know. Probably, well, I don't know. They've had problems in tribal elections on the Indian reservations in the past as well. So I'm not sure what that's going to happen, you know. I really don't know. I really, really don't know. Oh, excuse me. I don't know. You see all kinds of articles coming up now. UFC owner just humiliated Trump by exposing his White House. That's Occupy Democrats. I think they're just headline grabbing because that guy that's doing it is not. He keeps moving around the country. He's traveling well. He's living the high life, you know. So he's traveling around the world when he gives these reports because you can do it. It's done on the internet, you know. Of course, I can't do it on the internet anymore. You know, Trump's still talking about taking over Greenland. Man, just, or is it Greenland? Yeah, Greenland. Yeah, don't want it. I don't want Venezuela as a state either, because that's just what you're doing is you're spreading everything out over a great big territory with nothing in between it sometimes except oceans or other countries, and you're expecting nothing to happen. You're expecting everybody to sit back and say, okay, that's cool, never mind. Who gives a shit? Well, Europe is already getting pissed. They've already done some things in the background that are going to make life somewhat difficult for Donald. And I'm sure he's going to try and make life somewhat difficult for the rest of us. That's the way he operates. That fund, that $1.8 billion fund, is coming out of taxpayer money, and that's to pay. But it's like he's saying he's paying reparations to the January 6th people that were wrongly convicted. Those scumbags weren't wrongly convicted. He pardoned them, but they weren't wrongly convicted. He pardoned them because they were his buddies, because they supported him. Some of them are certifiable. Excuse me. But, Donnie don't care. Why would he give a shit? It's not his money. He's made well over, they said close to $3 billion since he's been president of the United States. Between stock deals, Bitcoin, bullshit, selling garbage on the internet, selling stuff made in Japan, China, Korea. He doesn't care. It's not American made. Because some of the parts that go into this, like the watches, they don't make them in this country anymore. You have to get the parts from overseas. That's where they have the people that can do that kind of work. We don't have that craftsmanship in some aspects of life anymore, because we're instead of trying to do something yourself in the United States, most people pick up the phone and call Amazon. That's it. They don't try to build anything anymore on themselves. They'll call a contractor up, build this for me, would you please? Nobody does anything themselves anymore, and I think that's part of the problem we're having. We've become so complacent with Donald Trump's in office and whatnot that nobody gives a shit anymore. And I honestly don't know what's going to happen. I have an idea, and I don't think I'm going to be around to see it. Or talk about it, and the way things are going, I'm going to be losing I could lose my email account too, the way things are going. This is just really fucked up, ridiculous. I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen credit cards mailed from two different banks, no security codes. Or if they have them, my wife never copied them down someplace or anything, but they're not on the cards. So, I guess I have to walk into the bank with my wife and find out what's going on, except none of the banks are local. So I have to find somebody I can get to go with me and everything to try to figure this shit out. I'll miss doing this stuff, So I will definitely find out someplace else to do it. Maybe TikTok allow me to put videos up at that 15 minutes, and I can do it, because that's what I try to keep these to 15 minutes. Because that's about how long my mind stays focused on anything. And as you can see lately, it's scrambled. So, Anyhow, look. In case it does work out all right, and I can do this, hit the subscribe button. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm not losing YouTube itself. I'm using my premium account, and I don't know what that's going to do with subscribers and everything else. But, we'll find out in a couple of days, about 48 hours we'll find out. And then I'll know what's going on. And I'm waiting for, like I said, if they respond, I can fix things. If not, I'm screwed. Meantime, everybody, you guys take care of yourselves. Hope to see you tomorrow. And I hope this video goes up. The one I did yesterday never went up. I don't know what happened to it. It disappeared. We'll have to wait and see what happens with this one. All right. So everybody take care, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. If you get to see this video, well, you won't get to see this video. If it doesn't take up, you won't see it. All right. We'll talk to you tomorrow.